What's up, skate fans? Good evening. Welcome back. Nice to have you back. Nice to be back doing the show again. To be honest, my real life, my work life has been kicking my ass a little bit lately. So who gets me, right? So it's been a little slow on the Fusilli voyage, but you know what? We're monetized now. Shout out. Thank you, everybody, for watching the pre-roll ads. Never mid, always pre. Shout out to you guys, the followers. Keep following. Do your thing. Smash that like button, all that good shit. Love the engagement. Love the Facilionaires. That's going to help me quit my day job. Just kidding. I do this shit for fun. I do this shit for you. The fans, the homies. I do this shit for me. I like to make the kind of stuff that I would want to watch. And so far I've been doing it and people have been resonating, so I feel blessed. Anyway, before I get into the main event, the main thing, I'm going to do a little kind of recap catch-up since I've been out of the game for a little bit. Off rip, this is the last thing I'm going to say about glasses skaters. I cannot believe I forgot these three. James Petoniak, Una Ferrar, and Jameer Brown. Three of my absolute favorite skaters of the common era. Three of my absolute favorite glasses skaters. James and Una, I think, go swag lord. Jameer gets legend status. I'm sorry. I know he's young, but he's already a legend. All three of these guys are pretty legendary. So, let's give them a hand. Three irreprehensible, fantastic, cool glasses, authentic, 100% glasses skaters. You will never see these fools not skating in glasses. So, shout out to these guys. They missed all the strays. They didn't have to be in the tier list video with all those other Dwaynes. Next up, we got a little bit of skateboarding to watch. These are my recs. These are my movie store employee picks of the month, of the past month or so, give or take. If you know by Nima, that is the Isaac and Jasper video. Very good. Even though there's an ABD song, I like the music. I like the skating. New York, trendy, basically a straight down the middle fastball for me. Jasper's footage, really good. I've been seeing Jasper coming up past couple of years doing things. Really enjoyed that. That's a good one. Go check it out. Also, kind of an off the beaten path, off the radar thing, but it makes sense for me because I love people that aren't bothering anybody. And who is not bothering people more than Barney Page? Love me some Barney Page. And OJ Wheels part. Barney Page is a great example of somebody who will take money that is owed to him regardless of who's paying. For example, OJ Wheels. He's been on Etnies forever. This dude is smart. He'll just take a little travel budget here or there. He doesn't need to be on the coolest shit, but he is the coolest guy. Really liked this part. Really love his skating. Love him in everything I see. You know, he's got the Sour Solution stamp, so you know we love him at Fusilli Grind. Go watch the Barney Page part. And last but not least, where would we be without the latest Yanta? Another great installment of Yanta. We love Fritte. They're in Serbia this time. The absolute most talented filmer / editor, artiste, auteur cinema, artiste Fritte Soderstrom. Incredible angles, incredible filming. As our boy Gifted Hater said, king of the export settings. Go and enjoy these three pieces. Watch them without me breaking it down and dissecting it. Go listen to the music. Go get the whole vibe as was intended. Couple more things, skateboarding adjacent. This is kind of skateboard media, not necessarily skateboard tricks. Two things that I really enjoyed. Palace Video Days. Obviously, this is like a bit of a goggle box bite. I thought this was an absolute masterpiece. Honestly, what skate company in today's day and age can do something this personal and make it this enjoyable, have it not be cringe, have it be funny? Palace is just, I love, say what you will about Palace. Palace, they do all the collabs. They're all about making their money, but how great is Palace to do something like this, to keep up their skate program and keep their skate program authentic. We got Chewy, Benny, Danny Brady, Phil Wester's in this. Say what you will about that. I still like Palace. I still rock with Palace. I thought this was great. It's a little slice of life, little British humor. Okay, part two, the other side of the coin, the other side of the pond. Living Proof. Shout out Living Proof. I've been watching you, Living Proof. You're coming up. You're on the come up. You're the new upstart that everybody else wants to listen to because you're impartial. You're not bought by any of the majors in the skate industry yet. So keep it rocking. Keep on rocking in the free world, as my man Nardwar likes to say. Gino interview. Always got to listen to what Gino has to say. Good interview. Maybe his best interview yet. He talks about the transition from getting let go of Nike to getting on ASICS. Just going under the hood of what I've already told everybody about ASICS and how smart they were. Turns out they had the guy from Nike working the ASICS deal. The guy who built up Nike SB Casper Van Lierop, who, by the way, reposted Fusilli Grind on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's right. We've been posted on LinkedIn. That's how you know we made it. First monetized. Now this. Shout out Casper. Send us a box, please, if you're listening. Anyway, Living Proof with Gino. Go check it out. Okay, that's it for my preamble. Let's talk about the lecture at hand. If you clicked on the video, you saw the thumbnail, you kind of know where I'm going already with this. I'm doing another spot video. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm not doing a tier list this time because there's too many tricks to do a tier list, but I'm going to try and give sort of a holistic overview of this spot that everybody's seen. Now, before I get into it, let me say this. This ain't the fucking Dern Bros, all right? And this isn't Ted Barrow, This Old Ledge, either. We're not going to go make, a high production value pilgrimage out there. We're not going to try and skate it. Bam Margero's not going to show up. This is Fusilli Grind. We're going to do this from the comfort of my own home, Fusilli Studios. Just to be clear, though, I am a fan of both of these content creators, especially Ted. I'm a huge fan of This Old Ledge. I think it's one of my favorite things in skate-adjacent media in the past 5 years, by far. I'm a little bit of a history of art and architecture nerd myself. And like Ted, fun fact, I've also been featured in an issue of Popeye, riding a longboard no less. Fun fact. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about the spot. The spot itself is known to many as the Ogden Bank to Ledge because it's at the corner of Ogden Avenue and West 168th in the Bronx, in New York, for those of you having trouble keeping up. And it's located at the back end of the handball court on Merriam Playground. And Merriam Playground is one of New York City's many otherwise unremarkable small public open spaces. However, I found out that Robert Moses, the very controversial city planner who shaped much of modern New York, was in attendance at the dedication of the Merriam Playground in 1948. And before I move on, I know I've got a lot of European listeners from overseas who probably don't know what I'm talking about when I say handball court. This is not Olympic-style team handball. This is New York City style handball. It's colloquially known as wall ball. It's basically like racquetball, but you don't have any rackets. Very popular in New York and probably other parts of the Eastern Seaboard and elsewhere in the U.S. Okay, history lesson over. iPad kids, wake up. Let's talk about the skate spot. The skate spot itself. Interesting spot. Kind of a rare geometry for a bank to ledge. I don't know, outside of ditches, too many spots that follow this form. And here's the spot itself in all its glory. The spot really consists of this cobblestone embankment built up to the foundation of the older tenement building up above. And the business end of the spot is this ledge down here. And it's a ledge that pretty well matches the slope of the bank and is, I don't know, maybe a board tall, a skateboard tall, couple of 32 inches or something like that tall, and goes almost all the way down to the ground. Now, this spot, which I'm sure all of you are well familiar with, or at least partially familiar with at this point in the year of our Lord 2025, would not exist, would not be known to us were it not for the progenitor, Jerry Mraz. So, Jerry Mraz of Coda Skateboards fame, of making a lot of important sort of built spots in New York City and Detroit as well, I think. Fact check me on that, gang. And rather than me tell you about it, I'll have Jerry do it himself. Thankfully, there was a Jenkem piece from 2014 where they talked about this spot.
Yeah, this one, boy, really got blown out quick. You can see it took a few different times of spattering some shit on there before it got very skatable. I took this fence off, scooted it back and what have you. And then I think I skim coated the ledge at one point. I can't remember. Yeah, I did. I skim coated the ledge at one point. You just take Bondo and just put a real thin coat of it and scrape it off.
You sand it off or just scrape?
You maybe sand it a little bit, but you try not to sand it any more than you have to.
Mm-hmm.
This shit will wreak havoc on your lungs.
Oh yeah. Do you wear a mask or something?
No, but you definitely should.
Isn't that the most DIY skate guy shit ever? It's awesome. Love Jerry. Shout out Jerry. These are the type of people that make skating better for people, you know, in their local area, in their city, or wherever they happen to be. But you heard him at the beginning. This spot got blown out quick, and it sure did. And that's really what we're talking about today. Uh-oh, that's right. It's a fucking spreadsheet. But this ain't no dumb data neither, all right? I painstakingly collected every clip that I could find done on this spot that I could find. So note, I've got 95 individual tricks here, 94 actually. But just because I got 94 on the clock does not mean there's other stuff that I missed. I'm sure that there is. I'm sure that we can easily assume that 100 to 150 individual tricks have been done on this piece of shit. And I did my best to identify everyone. I didn't get everyone. Shout out to Steve Fletch. Shout out Fletch. He helped me out with a couple of the earlier ones. But this was an interesting exercise for me. It enabled me to go back and look at some stuff that I'd never seen. If you're a regular of the show, you know that I didn't pay attention to skateboarding from about the year 2003 until the year 2016, 17. So this was a good opportunity for me to go back and to pore over some stuff that I really did not have on my radar. But that being said, most of these skaters are well known. There's an interesting mishmash of, you know, big names, small names, who the fuck, that kind of shit. So it's going to be fun. We're going to go down the list, and we're going to give everybody a score. This ain't no fucking Street League. So we're going to do Leonard Maltin style. Leonard Maltin, of course, the legendary film critic who would score from the lowest score of bomb up to 4 stars in half-star increments. I'm going to try and be quick with it, but there's plenty here to talk about, so settle in, buckle in, grab your favorite $4 prebiotic soda pop, and let's go for it. All right, we already watched the Jenkem thing, so Jerry Mraz. I didn't find any clips of him skating it. Steve pointed me in some directions, but I didn't find any of the earliest clips. I'm sure there are clips earlier than the one I'm going to show you as the first clip, but we all watched the Jenkem thing with Jerry. I think Jerry gets an honorary 4 off rip for his dedication to the game, for putting his lungs on the line so people could fuck around on this interesting obstacle. The earliest clip that I could find, and of course caveat, you know, at this time especially, people were filming stuff and stacking for years at a time. For the purposes of this list, we're going by release date because that's the only thing we have really to tie it to. So, you know, it doesn't really matter when you did it anyway. It matters whose shit came out first, right? It's going to take a little while to start getting into ABDs, surprisingly, but we will get there, all right? So hang tight. The first clip I was able to find is David Clark in the Strobeck section from Transworld Cinematographer Project. This is Ground Zero. Interesting. Did anybody expect that to be the first trick done at the spot on film? Front feeble, back revert. Very rare. Interesting choice. Little pop out, late revert. Threw me for a loop, this one, and I had found this one after I found some later ones. So this one was really weird to put back into the list and have that be the first one, but that's how we have it. Interesting trick. I like that he skated up it. We'll see that most people skate down it. I'd like to give some bonus points for going up, so David's going to get a 3 for his performance. Okay, up next, Curtis Rapp from his Audubon Wheels promo. This is 2012, I think. Okay, so interestingly enough, Curtis is also doing a front feeble. Because Curtis is goofy, he gets to go downhill. I do like how he executed the front feeble, though. I like a good front feeble, good lock-in, nice and pressed over there. Wouldn't have been able to do it without Jerry's good work, moving that rail out of the way. And back into the bank. Solid. I like that clip a lot, actually. I'm feeling I overscored Clark a little bit, but he gets a little bonus for setting it off. I have to be stingier with my stars, though. I got to channel Leonard a little bit better here. Curtis is going to get a 2.5. None of this shit matters anyway. Okay, who's next? Joey Pepper, another name of yesteryear in his 2012 Real Street video part here. I quite like that trick. Funny that, the first couple clips we have are guys doing, like, Wally to feeble grinds, skating this thing like a quarter pipe. And then we have Joey Pepper coming in and doing a thinking man's ledge trick. Back into the bank, nice. And the spot is funny. The geometry of it makes for a lot of interesting things to be done on it. Most bank to ledges are flat. Right? It's a bank up to a ledge that's flat, but this is a bank up to a banked ledge, a slanted ledge. So we'll see plenty of guys doing some interesting shit like this. I thought this is one of the better 180 to crook variations that we'll see. So Joey, shout out to you. That's a 3. Zared Bassett. This is the first but not the last time we're going to see Zared skating this spot. Zared, obviously legendary East Coast name, still around, still killing it. He smacked a couple of tricks on this thing as early as 2012, but this is a re-edit. So potentially this is from 2010 or sometime before 2010 even. So Zared hits us with the front side Wally 5-0 back into the bank, and then the back 180 nose grind, which is so perfectly Zared. He's a ledge god, but he's also a transition god. So we've got him skating it like a quarter pipe, and we've got him skating it like a ledge, beautifully both ways. I thought the back 180 nose grind was especially good. How he lands back into the bank, just at the last moment. I think for the front 5-0, it's pretty basic. Bit of a warm up trick for Zared, I imagine, especially at that time. So I'll give that a 2. Back 180 nose grind, one of my favorite tricks. I'll give that a 3. All right, up next, Ryan Gallant, another big name, another big name out of Massachusetts. Ryan Gallant in an Expedition 1 skateboards promo, in a camo fishing wide brim bucket hat, hits us with this. Beautifully executed, I would say. Little front 180 fakie 5-0. Pop in to switch into the bank. Good steez. Handled it. Ryan gets a 3. And it really goes to show kind of one of the interesting things about this spot. Like, so far, it's been kind of throwing me for a loop how random the maneuvers that are being done. But if you think about it, Jerry Mraz got this spot built somewhere around 2010 or maybe 09 or 08. And by that point, the level of technical skating had already gotten so high, and the acceptance of doing sort of vert-style tricks had been coming back into the fold, into popularity that had sort of dwindled in the late 90s and early aughts. So I guess I really shouldn't be as surprised as I am about the variety of different kinds of maneuvers we're seeing going down on this thing. Hesh Wally type tricks, as well as sort of thinking man's techie ledge combos. So it's making for a fun little list, isn't it, guys? I think so. Up next, this was Steve's big lift. Shout out Steve. He identified this, and if he's wrong, it's Steve's fault. But he identified the unknown blunt slider right after this. Boom, little blunt slide pop out. As Ron Daly out of NJ, it's my own countryman here. Wally blunt slide pop out into the bank. I bet there was a great photo there. Who's that on the lens? Anybody know? Bonus points if you can tell me who shot the photo. Terrible outfit. The black Vans, white socks, black pants, Zoo York hoodie that's a little too big for the pants. You know, I know this is 2012, 2013, so cut him some slack, but bad outfit, but good trick. Ron Daly, that's a 2.5. Okay, up next, we've got a prepubescent Dick Rizzo, little Richard Rizzo here. First, he hits you with the parakeet, and then he hits you with the front Smith revert. Interesting trick, and maybe even more interesting still because Dick Rizzo, I always associate Rizzo with being like, you know, the Wally guy. But he's ollieing here. Ollie front Smith revert. I like how he sort of skirts around the side of that manhole cover there. I thought he handled himself well on that. I'll give him a 2.5. This won't be the last time that we see him either. More recently, Dick Rizzo did a trick at this spot that I like quite a bit more. We'll see. We'll get there. All right, up next, we've got Brian De La Torre. Remember him? What's he been up to? Brian hits us with a little front shove nose slide to regs. Kind of a rare move. You don't see a lot of front shove nose slides. A little unremarkable. I don't, you know, strong 2 for Brian. Up next, same video. We've got the Jesus himself, Stefan Janoski, most breaded man of all time in skateboarding. Probably, maybe not. Switch flip nose slide, like beautifully done. Looked regular, honestly, but you know, Stefan's a bit of a switch god, isn't he? I think that's an outstanding trick, especially this early in the list. And then he goes on to skate another of Jerry's New York spots, Janoski, in early 2014 with the switch flip nose slide. That's a really good trick, maybe one of my favorites. I'm going to give it a 3.5. All of this shit got by me, guys. In 2014, I did not give a fuck about skateboarding. I had other things going on, truly. But thank God for Fusilli Grind because, you know, it's got me out here doing my homework. And in fact, we've got one more clip out of that video on the spot, and it's the legend, Fred Gall. Switch 180 to 5.0. Fred Gall, you know, this is a total Fred Gall spot. And it's great to see Fred out here. You know, in 2014, I think times were pretty hard on Fred, but it's nice to see he got some clips for this video. I like the trick. It's kind of not Fred Gall's best stylistic effort, but I like what he did. Interesting trick. Got a little bit of the bank on the way in. I'm giving Fred a gentleman's 2.5. And I know this sounds harsh, but, you know, like a 2 for a Leonard Maltin movie review, it's still good, still worth seeing, you know, like 2 is respectable. You know, very rarely is something going to get a 3 or a 4, so just keep that in mind, just so you know. Just before you come at me and say, Fred Gall was the best, do a little reflection for me. You know that he wasn't, so let's keep moving. Let's keep it moving with the perpetual motion part from Silas Baxter Neal. Silas, kind of an interesting dude, maybe one of the last authentic sodies before it all went to shit and became a corporate money grab. Interesting trick, kind of a mirror of that Joey Pepper trick, but the frontside version, nollie frontside 180 to switch front crook, revert into the bank. You know, skinny jeans legend, Giant Adidas, royal blue Adidas t-shirt. Terrible outfit. I kind of want more from Silas at this spot. I'm not like super jazzed with this, but I think he still deserves a 2 for his efforts. Okay, we made it to Cherry. March 20th, 2014. William Strobeck drops his masterpiece. Cherry was probably the first time that the world got a good glimpse at this spot, and Strobeck will keep coming back. You know, he was the first one there on this list, and he will keep coming back to the well of the Ogden Bank to ledge time and again. We'll see. So let's run through the Cherry montage. Okay, setting it off, we've got Alex Olson in a kerchief. In a 5-panel, rare combo. But this was peak Supreme box logo 5-panel era. This is peak Team Handsomeness era. Alex Olson setting it off. Kickflip nose slide. So a little disappointing here, Alex, seeing as Stefan already switch flip nose slid it. Also, look how skinny this board looks. Zoom FC's kickflip nose slide. Yeah, okay. Akira Mowat. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Interesting. Okay, I like this. Nollie cab to, what is that, switch front nose? Also a skinny board. These motherfuckers were skating skinny shit in 2014. Seems like a little bit late for 2014, but then again, you know, these guys are a little bit more OG. Not really Olsen, though. I'm kind of surprised to see him skating that skinny of a board in 2014. BA, the legend. The legend, Brian Anderson. Uh-oh. Do you see what I see? We've got the legend BA in 2014. Front Smith revert. Sound familiar? That's right. That shit was already done by 12-year-old Dick Rizzo. I do like the way that BA handled it, though. You know, more of a full-grown man steez. You know, you can't really hold that against Dick Rizzo. He was 12 to 14 years old at the time. He goes through the manhole cover, gets a little bit of a better line at it. We'll figure out how to deal with you later, Brian. All right. Who's that? That is Javier Nunez, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Don't at me. I'm pretty sure. Steve did not help with that one. I figured that out all on my own. Problem with this is it is also an ABD. Zared already did that shit. Although I will say, again, I like how this one was done. I like how he sort of picked it up. I like how long that he held the grind. I like the basketball shorts. I like the Nikes. I like everything about this clip. I'm conflicted. We'll get there. All right. Alex Olson again with the braids. I'm A-O with the braids. What's he got? Back feeble. Interesting. So it took until 2014 for a backside Wally feeble to see the light of day. Okay. Noted. Akira again. Okay, this is going to start a little bit of a trend. We're going to start to see this happening where guys aren't getting any travel on the ledge. They're just kind of doing a stall. There's another one. Akira, again, hitting us with a stall. Oh, who's that with the stall? It's Andrew Allen. There we go. A grind again. Who was that, you say? That was the Frost himself, Eric Costin. Let's look at that again. Talk about a 2014 looking ass outfit. Costin when he still had a little bit of fight in him. Interesting trick. I actually quite like that. Look how foul the screen printing is on the side of this Supreme 5-panel real quick. Holy Moses. Okay. Or maybe it might even be embroidered on there. Anyway, back to Dylan. Here we go. The Jesus fit. The backsmith, the keys on the belt. What is there to say? I mean, this is iconic. Great pop out. Great travel on the backsmith. I can see this guy's entire knee musculature. I can see the shape of his wallet. I think the money was good at this time for Dylan. R.I.P. the GOAT. And Tino getting some. Tino closing it out. Tino Razzo, shout out Tino. Front side hurricane back in. I love this, and he went up. One of my favorite clips in the montage. No wonder Big Bill decided to put that at the end. Touches the fence a little bit, but I don't care. I love a frontside hurricane. I love going up, choking out the all-white skate highs. Bit of a move. The Thrasher zip hoodie with the screen printing on the sleeves. Maybe it's not a zip hoodie, but Thrasher hoodie nonetheless. Great way to close it out. And that's the cherry montage. What a whirlwind. So let's run down the list and do it up real quick. Alex Olson kickflip nose slide. That's a 2. Kira Moat nollie 180 switch front nose. That's a 2.5. Brian Anderson front Smith revert ABD, but I liked it more. So I think on ABDs that I liked more than the original, I'm going to give you a half star, half a point. And I'm going to do the same thing for Javier. I think otherwise, if you didn't do it better, I'll give you a chance to do it better for half a star. That's not really great anyway, because it's still an ABD. But you get a half a star for doing it better. If you didn't do it better, that you know what's going to happen there. Alex Olson, Wally back feeble with the braids. I liked it, honestly. I think I liked that better than the kickflip nose slide, so that's going to get a 2.5. Akira with the stalls, nollie back tail, stall, reverts, spinning around too much, nollie front heel, tail, stall. I think stalls, you're not going to do any better than a 1.5 max, so I'm going to give this one a 1, this one a 1. Andrew Allen, front 180, nose grind. I even said he went up like 1 inch, but let's be honest, that was a stall 1.5 for Andrew Allen. Andrew Allen has to have something better for this spot. Maybe he's past his prime and he's not going to hit it again. You'll see. Some people only skate this spot one time, and then other people kind of like it. They figure it out, and they keep going back for more. You'll see. Dylan, Wally back Smith. I mean, that's in the pantheon. One of the best tricks done on the spot. Don't at me. That's a 3.5. Oh, sorry, I forgot Costins. Okay, Costins, nollie 180, switch 5.0, revert. That's a 3. Dylan, that's a 3.5. The back Smith, beautiful. And Tino, front hurricane up. Not better than Dylan's back Smith. It gets a 3. Okay, later that summer, we get the backside hurricane from Bobby Warist. Bobby Warist for quarter snacks. Bobby's one of my favorites, guys. Another one of those ones who's just not bothering anybody and just killing it, being cool but not trying that hard. I think he does like motorcycle restoration in his free time. He's got a life outside of this bullshit. Backside hurricane, not my favorite. I know we just talked about the frontside hurricane from Tino, which I liked a lot better. He also ollied into it. This is ripe for the vert style Wally in. Yeah, I'm not really feeling the backside hurricane. That's a 1.5. All right, we're getting through it, but we're nowhere near done. We're only in 2014 still, so we get out of Cherry, and now we're into Joyride. One of Strobeck's little interstitial feature films, and we've got Aiden Mackey, the first time we see him at this spot, to my knowledge. And there he goes, front shove, nose slide to fakie. So it is ABD to regular. Does that mean it's ABD to fakie? For the purposes of this, I didn't count it that way. So I'm going to count front shove, nose slide to fakie as its own trick. And I kind of like it. I think I like it better than Brian De La Torre. What did we give De La Torre? We gave him a 2. Yeah, he's not going to higher than a 2 for that, actually. I think I like them equally. All right. Back to Joyride. We've got Big Ben. I'm kind of surprised there aren't more clips of Big Ben on this thing, Ben K. But Ben went and hit it with the Wally front 5.0. Uh-oh, you know what that means. He gets the bomb. Up next, we've got Max Hiersteiner. And if you're saying who, me too. This is obviously the homie. Came in for another Wally front 5-0, the worst one we've seen yet, and maybe the worst outfit we've seen yet, but also kind of sick when I'm thinking about it. This came as part of a doubles clip with the homie Fritz Mead. Fritz Mead, bit of a classic New England fried guy. This is an Orchard skate shop. Fritz Mead promo part. Boneless front 5-0. I'm at a bit of a loss for words. I thought both of those tricks were absolutely terrible. Max, God bless him. He never asked for any of this, and he's probably just the homie. Whatever, I wish him well. But them's the breaks. It's an ABD. He did it terribly. He gets the bomb. And Fritz, even though it's not an ABD, I hate bonelesses. It's almost worse. He gets the bomb. All right, up next, it's our old pal Brad Cromer. The God. Shout out Brad Cromer. I was happy to see him make the list. 2014 looking ass snapback white tee camos. Front side flip to front 50. Weird. Also, the editing's so weird with the extra run-up clip, then the clip, then the extra rollaway clip. Really weird. Weirdly filmed. Weirdly put together. Weird trick. But we do love Brad. We do love his front side flips. Clean flip in. I think that's the first flip in that we'll see. Well, if you don't count the Akira Moet nollie heel flip to stall. Weird trick, but I liked it, and I like Brad. That's a 2.5. And it's time to delve into some more of the lesser-known New York heads, some real core street skating motherfuckers. We got the spot in Strangers by Lurk NYC. This is a 2015. We made it to 2015, y'all. Lurk NYC 2015. Terrible export settings, filmed on a potato. We got Kevin Davis. Back 180 to switch 50 revert. One of my favorite tricks to do. It's a little bit of a gimmicky fake tech trick. But then he hits you with the back 180 fakey 5-0 to regular. I think he put his hand on the fence there a little bit, but let's be real. This is the trick he was trying. So back 180 switch 50 revert, that's like a 1.5. Back 180 fakey 5-0 revert, that's like a 2.5. That was solid. All right, we got another homie in Strangers, Dan DeBarros. And Dan hits us with the boneless to front tail. I hate bonelesses. That gets the bomb. Sorry, Dan. And then we got Cody Rosenthal. Thank God this fucking edit had titles, because I would not have known who any of these guys were otherwise. Cody hits you with the Wally Blunt slide pop-out, which we know is ABD, brother. Do I like it better than the Ron Daly one? I don't think that I do. Good pop-out still, but I don't think he's going to get it, so he gets the bomb. The ABDs are flowing now, baby. Just you wait. All right, we got a couple more from Trans World Outliers, and I realize now I've kind of fucked this up. I messed up my continuity here. These should be up here or one way or the other. We've got Lurker Lou, guest trick in the Zared part. I thought that was pretty good, actually. Front half cab to crook to regs. Smart trick, I thought. I thought that looked pretty good. I also think Lurker Lou, glow up of the century, he does not look well in this clip. He looks much better these days. And then Zared back for more. Cab 180 nose grind. So sick. I thought that was great. He sort of squeaked along on the grind there, but man, great idea for a trick. Back into the bank. I thought that was great. I think Lou gets a 2.5 and Zared gets a 3. Let's talk about some shit I know absolutely nothing about. Pyramid Country, Justin Modica. Let's see what he's got. Oy. Wally backside nose pick yank. You know, stalls can't do any better than a 1.5. That's the rules. I'll give him a half. And now we get our first taste of somebody that you iPad babies will recognize. Vincent Tuzeri makes his first appearance at the spot in the 5-borough video. Who knew that Vincent Tuzeri was on 5-borough? I certainly didn't, because as I previously mentioned, I was not paying attention at this time. Wally front 180 fakie 5-0 revert. Now, he didn't grind very long, but he did the trick in one beautiful fluid motion, just like water, just like that bottle of Poland Spring water that's here on the ground for a visual cue to tell him what angle to hit the spot at. We can also see the spot's been getting a little touch-up over time, you know, where 2015, this thing's been getting cooked. So naturally, it's going to take a little upkeep. I thought it was a good trick from Vincent Tuzeri, his first trick on the spot, but it won't be his last. That's a 3. We're in 2016 now, and we've got a Supra edit. Who remembers fucking Supra? I'd be astounded if any of you guys have seen this shit. Maybe you have. I don't know. You're all fucking nerds anyway. Another thing I noticed about this spot is that it's one of the most voyeuristic fucking film the little local children's spots ever. You think they gave this kid's parents a waiver? Hell no. Weird. I don't know. Anyway, we got Sasha Daly. Frontside nose grind, pop out, and he missed the bank on the way in. Kind of surprising, though, that this thing had not yet, to this point, been frontside nose grinded upon. Kind of a nothing trick, if you ask me. And then we've got the Lizard King himself, Mike Plum, backing it up with a kickflip nose slide in the craziest fucking moire pattern pants I've ever seen. This is some 2016 shit. For real, for real. In the baseball V-neck Death Wish tee. Diabolical fit from the King here. So for the nose grind, Sasha, he'll get a 1.5. He did not come into the bank on the way back in. It wasn't a very special trick, in my opinion. Lizard King, kickflip nose slide, gets the bomb. ABD by Alex Olson, and also ABD switch by Janoski. So no luck there for the King. Although he was not finished with the spot, he went back and unlocked new terrains at the spot. The King, he goes back, scales the wall, gets up on the fence there, and decides he's going to do the unthinkable. Backside ollie in. Kind of insane with the wired Apple iPod Shuffle inline controls hanging down from his headpiece, and a different Death Wish baseball tee and a different diabolical pair of pants. Doing his name proud with this one, I think. This is what we needed from the King, from the Lizard King on this spot. And I think I'm going to reward him for his efforts. I think backside ollie in is like a 3 of a trick, but for opening up the new terrain, you know, to my knowledge, nobody else has gone in from the top rope. So for that, I think I give him a 3.5. That's generous for Lizard King, but I think he earned it with that one. Okay, up next, we've got another young man who is still relevant today, who will no doubt be known by the iPad babies, Shane Farber. Shane must have been a fucking zygote when they filmed this shit. Okay. Wally back 50. Kind of surprised we hadn't seen it until now. Wally back 50 kind of lands odd. But, you know, cut him some slack. He's just a little kid, right? Just a little kid wearing red Converse Chuck high tops. Not his best, and we'll see him come back for more here. For the Wally back 50, you're going to get a 1.5. All right, up next, we got Sean Pablo. Sean Pablo's first appearance. This is from Strobeck's King Puppy, an edit that I certainly don't remember, and I'm sure many of us don't. But this is Sean Pablo's first go at the spot. No comply front tail. I hate bonelesses. I kind of hate no complies too. But as far as no comply front tails go, that's one of the better ones I've seen. You know, any trick can be done well enough for me to enjoy it. This is peak all over print pants era. This is peak clear grip in the middle of the board with some interesting shit underneath it era. This is Sean Pablo killing it, you know. This is, you know, he's still got his little boyish look. He's got the little chain. He's hitting us with the little tongue out look, which I don't love. But, you know, Strobeck is helping us to feel uncomfortable by zooming in so much. I kind of like the all over print pants. These are they're almost like waspy khakis. You know, this is like almost something you'd see at a nice country club vibes. So, yeah, give me this Sean Pablo any day of the week. This is pretty good. Sean Pablo, no comply tail. That's a 2.5. Oh, we've got another continuity error. We've got Grayson Miller from the Widdip Gentlemen's Club. The same video as the Shane Farber Wally Back 50. Man, if that Lurk NYC video was filmed on a potato, this Widdip video was filmed on a turnip or something like that. Grayson hits us with the backside nose pick, back in straight, no hands. In Reeboks and track pants. Stalls aren't going to do better than a 1.5, but I'll give them a 1.5 just for the Reeboks and the track pants. All right, we've got Mike Lent. Didn't need to consult Steve about this one because thankfully there were titles on this edit, but he did ride for Steve's company, so shout out Steve again, Northern Company, RIP, bring it back, all that good stuff. I saw some motion there. I don't think he's going to get the stall distinction. Bonus points for going up. I like to see, I like it. Front nose 270 in. Maroon pants. This is peak maroon pants era. Good outfit. Good trick. Nice. Bonus points for Northern Co. That's a 3 for Mike Lent. Vincent Alvarez. It was only a matter of time before Vincent Alvarez showed up at this thing. This is a total Vincent Alvarez type spot. It's a weird shaped ledge on a bank. It has all of the elements. It's sort of fake. It's got all of the elements of a Vincent Alvarez spot. And he hits you with the Wally switch crook. Good travel on it. I think Vincent Alvarez is an acquired taste. His style is a little bit jarring. But it's also endearing. I like Vincent Alvarez. I like what he's putting down. That's not the best Vincent Alvarez shit I've ever seen. I'll give it a 2. All right, Aiden Mackey's back. He's a little bit more grown up here. This is Impossible 50-50. I like Aiden Mackey because he does impossibles sparingly, and he does them always correctly. Some people, I won't name names until later when it's relevant, but some people impossible and abuse impossibles, whether they can actually do it or not. Some people have bad impossibles and abuse it. Some people have good impossibles and abuse it. Aiden Mackey has a good impossible and he doesn't abuse it. I think that deserves respect. I think Impossible 50-50 is a classic trick. I think it's a good hat he's got on. Black wheels, we'll get a deduction for that. Good wrap, good 50-50. Didn't quite make it back into the bank. I think it's a 2.5. 2.5 still good, guys. I'm fucking with it still at 2.5. 2.5 is high praise. Hipsters rejoice. We've got the king. Cyrus Bennett made it to the spot as well. Had to go digging for a re-upload of this one. That's probably why it looks so shit. This was a Johnny Wilson, Cyrus Bennett, Nike Dunk Elite promo video that got pulled down, I'm sure, because of some music right shit. Textbook. Hits you with the textbook. Kickflip crook. Very nice. Skirts around the manhole cover. Just fantastic. I'm not immune to the apotheosis of Cyrus Bennett. I think he's great. I think that was a great trick. I think it made sense for the spot. I think it's one of the better tricks done at the spot, actually. I think that's going to get a 3.5. All right, Shane Farber. He's back for more. This is another Widip edit. He's growing up a little bit. I really like this Italian flag hat he has on. That's a good hat. Better filming. They've upgraded their production value at Widip, and kind of a great thinking man's trick for the spot. He back 50s. Before, he just Wally back 50'd the ledge. This time, he back 50s the bar. Which, when you think about it, kind of risky, because look at the motion on that thing. You could lose a foot or both feet. You know, get him stuck up in the chain link there, or stuck behind the bar. And then it's not looking too good. So I like that. And I think to date, as far as this list is concerned, only person to skate the bar, gaps out over the rest of the bank. Good trick. Skating the bar, that's cool. That's breaking new ground. That's a 3 for Shane. We've made it to 2018 against all odds. Guy I've never heard of, Marco Cotta. I truly went into this with no idea what to expect. And I was rewarded with a frontside boneless to 5-0. Not only is it boneless, it was an ABD boneless, so you know what that means? Bro gets the bomb. Marco, come on, work with me here. We go from a complete unknown to a big name. We've got Austin Gillette. By 2018, we've already got the modern Austin Gillette that we know and love. This is from his former video part. He goes half cab, front nose grind, pop into the bank. Perfect. Rides right through that manhole. No problems. Good travel on the nose grind. Good. Looks almost completely balanced as well. Man, I'm a bit of a Gillette stan. I think he's the only person in the world capable of beating the biting Dylan allegations, because, you know, Gillette and Dylan were sort of contemporaries. You know, maybe they picked up things off one another, but, you know, they were contemporary guys sort of pushing the same genre of style. And, you know, Dylan's the goofy version, Gillette's the regular version. You know, Dylan's the white Jesus, and, you know, Gillette's kind of got more of the all black thing going on. I think there's room for both of them. I think they're both great. And I like this trick. That's a 3 all day. Strong 3. The mother video from Quasi, we've got Josh Wilson. It's about time we saw some Wilson brothers over here at the Merriam Playground, right? Interesting trick. Kind of rare. You almost never see that cab to switch 50 revert. I like the idea. I don't know about the execution. These blazers were diabolical with the big toe cap. I think I bought a pair of those, you know, for 50% off the floor of my local skate shop back in the day, probably around this time, 2018. I took them out of the box, and then I just, like, took them straight to Goodwill. I was like, I cannot do this. Toe cap is so insane. It's a 1.5. Up next, we've got Brandon Gironda. A random Jenkum part. Let's see what he's got. Nollie front shove, front nose, back into the bank. Looks like he was trying his hardest at that. I don't hate this trick, actually. I kind of like it. Something good about it. You know, he didn't land it great, but, you know, who the fuck is Brandon Gironda? Give him his flowers. That's what I say. I like how the back foot, you know, was hanging off crazy, pushing the front nose. God, this VX footage, whoever exported this shit fucked up, but, yeah, I don't know. If Josh Wilson got a 1.5, Brandon Gironda also gets 1.5. Oh, we've got Yanni Cruz. I know Joe and I talked about the possibility of the canceled skaters tier list. We haven't made any moves on that, so, you know, don't hold your breath. But we got Yanni Cruz in the GX video. Huh. So that's like a cab to back 180 nose grind, or is he goofy? I mean, there's no denying he did this well. If it was cab or nollie cab, either way. Is it nollie cab switch 5-0? Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. He's canceled, but he gets a 2.5 for that. All right. Strobeck's back. William Strobeck's probably spent more time at this fucking handball court than whoever the local Highbridge handball champion is. But anyway, this gives us an opportunity to watch another montage, crack out a bunch of these at once. So let's jump into it. This is, of course, from Blessed, which lives behind a YouTube paywall, so all we get is this Slavic re-upload version on YouTube, and we get this young man whose name I do not know. Nobody was able to find him for me, so sorry, bro. You're one of the 2 dudes. I did not know who they were on this list. 2 out of 94 is pretty good. Cut me some slack. And he does a barley grind to regular. Kind of good. I kind of like that. Back into the bank. Good steez. Rowan. This is Rowan's first go at the spot, but not his last. Interesting. Okay, so Rowan is kind of like Aiden Mackey. He does good impossibles, but he doesn't milk them, and it's kind of rare to see him do them, right? So this is an interesting one because he goes impossible to switch 50 to revert. Kind of broke my brain when I watched this, and it made me realize, all of the possibilities with this spot because of its shape. Instead of going and doing, an impossible to a backside trick, he goes impossible to switch front side, holds the 50-50 well, good wrap on the impossible, showing that he's a thinking man. Obviously, Rowan is a thinking man. This is before he invented the most hideous Vans Cupsole Pro shoe in the world. I don't love. I like the idea more than I like the product, the deliverable. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one actually. All right, here we go. We've got Burl. Let's see what Burl's got. Uh-oh. We all know that Burl is no stranger to ABDs anyway. But this one's pretty damn egregious if you consider who else is on this sesh. Do you think at any point Vincent Tuzeri tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, Elijah, I already did this trick in 5-borough video." All right, we've got the Gons. Gons hitting us with the Wally back 50. ABD from the Gons, which is really no surprise. Gons... bit of a kook of pain, if you ask me. He does it on the Beamer board. He's got a pink Supreme box logo 5 panel on. Kind of a good Gons outfit if you consider how bad they've gotten. Yeah, good, nice, fun. Glad to see Gons skating on the sesh. Gotta have Gons in the edit for the Supreme video, of course. Do I like it better than Shane's Wally back 50? Yeah, I kind of do, because Shane's Wally back 50 was not great. I like how he went up and then placed the nose down. And then he almost sort of, he does. He rides the wall back in to the bank. This is my relationship with Gons. I start out, wanting to be contrarian, wanting to hate. But then he reels me back in, man. I do still like him, and of course I respect the legacy. This guy, okay, this is the other guy. I didn't know who the fuck this was. Somebody in the comments will know. Some European person will know who this dude is with the fucking stud earrings. I just don't know who this guy is, and I couldn't take the time to figure it out. I'd already gotten through, 60, 70 tricks at this point. I was tired, sick and tired of doing this fucking bullshit. So, this guy, front blunt though. So shout out to the red hoodie, earring having dude. First person to front blunt, Wally front blunt, good travel on the front blunt, good pop out. Not doing an ABD miraculously by this point. I think this is late 2018 this shit came out, or maybe even 2019.
Rowan again. This is an interesting one from Rowan. Fakey ollie front Smith down. See, Rowan skates this thing sort of differently than everybody else. He skates it almost like going up and down on a quarter pipe, like rock to fakie style. So I like that. Except for this one, he just goes Wally nose to 50-50. I feel like this is deep in the era when the nose slide to 50-50 was really popping. Casper Brooker did a few that were really popular, and that trick sort of stuck around for about 5 years. I don't see it too much anymore, but yeah, second angle of that one. SP back again in the Dylan fit. And I thought this was great. I thought this was a great follow-up to the no comply tail. Back to 70 tail. And sliding it well, coming back into the bank. Almost doing the Dylan fit a little bit better than Dylan. The choice of materials is a little bit less polyestery, a little bit more cotton, a little bit more natural fibers. Still doing the tongue thing, which, you know, is what it is. I like that. I like a back 270 tail slide when done well. And that guy liked it too. Back on the voyeurism tip. Here we go. Tuzari, he's back. Pop shove it back 50 to tail snap. Very weird. Almost a never seen trick. But I kind of liked it. Sean Pablo again. This is kind of a banger for Sean Pablo here. Oh my god, look at that fucking ribcage. Good god, man. Hit a couple push-ups for me, will ya? Do you think he still looks like this? I know this is like 6-7 years ago, but like, is he still running this? I didn't watch the edgelord video in full, so I don't know for sure, but this is not good. Not a good look. Sorry, distracted by the physique, but how could you not be? Backside flip to switch crook. I thought this was good for a flip in to grind. I mean, we haven't seen that many of those, and it's kind of a smart one to do. I thought it was a good trick. Obviously, he wasn't like totally feeling it, which I get. You know, a little itchy on the grind, but I thought it was good. And then we've got Vincent just absolutely shutting it down. Frontside flip, fakie 5-0, revert. Just fucking perfect. Peak Royal Jordan 1 era. This is why Jordans cost so much money for a few years there through the pandemic, was because Vincent Tuzari put on a great outfit. Look at this. This is a masterclass right here. Backwards dad hat, white tee, black pants, Jordans, and a gold tone Casio watch. Just a well put together fit. Frontside flip, fakie 5-0, balanced, beautifully done maneuver there, and just so much swag, so much fluidity. That's why they pay him the big bucks. That's money right there. And that's it. One more thing I'll say about the montage from Blessed. The Daniel Johnston track, it went well with the montage. I just don't really get the Daniel Johnston thing. I never have. Not really a fan. I know he passed away, RIP, all that good stuff, but just never got it. And it's not like I don't like cloying, weird, quasi-folk indie music. I do. There's a lot of shit like that I like. I just don't get the Daniel Johnston thing. So, but that being said, that's my personal preference. I think it did serve this montage well and fit well. So that's my 2 cents. All right, let's grade these papers real quick. The Barley Grind to Regs, I kind of liked it, 2.5. Rowan Impossible Switch 50, 180. Kind of doing too much. I give it a 2.5 as well, though, because it was a good Impossible. Elijah, Wally Front 180, Fakey 5-0 Revert, ABD by Vincent. That's bomb all day. Sorry, bro. Mark Gonzalez, Wally back 50. Okay, I'm going to give him the same I gave Javier Nunez. I liked it better than the one that happened before. So what did I give Javier? I gave him a half. Okay, so Gons gets a half star for his Wally back 50. I did like it better. Still an ABD, so half star is the best you're going to do. The guy that did the Wally front blunt, I liked that a lot. The dude with the earrings and the red hoodie, he gets a 3 for the Wally front blunt. I thought that was a good clip, one of the best in the montage. Rowan Zarilla, Nollie to Switch Smith, that's a 2. It was good. Just kind of showing off on the spot a bit. Wally nose slide to 50-50. It was okay. I give that one a 2 as well. Sean Pablo, back 270 tail. That's a 3. That was good. I half a mind to give him a 3.5 for that, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't that great. Tuzuri, pop shove it back 50. That's a 2. Kind of a weird trick, weird clip. Sean Pablo backside flip switch crook revert. I give that a 3 as well. I give both of Sean Pablo's tricks a 3 on that one. I liked both. And then Vincent capping off with the frontside flip fakie 5-0 revert. That was damn near perfect. That might be, I won't say, but that's up there for real. That might be my favorite trick. I'll say it. That might be my favorite trick. 3.5. All right, we're saying goodbye to Blessed, and we've only got about 30 more tricks to go. So we're in January 2019. We've got Josh Feist, Terror of Planet X Crop Circles, Volume 1. Shout out Mitch Hartman and all the Terror of Planet X homies. Let's see what Josh had to do at the spot. Frontside half cab, nose slide. Pretty good. Weird outfit, but I like the trick. I like the execution. That's a 2. We got Frankie Villani in duets. Let's see what Frankie's got. Bennett grind to regular. It's funny how this video looks. It's like, I think Joe Face had his hands all over this thing, kind of this dull color grading, sort of wide, long lens era. JK's tray flip. Bennett grind to regs. Didn't really hit the bank on the way back in. Green wheels. I'm not a Bennett grind hater. I'm not a Frankie Villani hater. I actually quite like Frankie Villani, and I like it when he does Bennett grinds in general, but I did not like that one. He gets a 1.5 for that. Honestly, I expect more from Frankie on a spot like this. That really felt phoned in. Cooper Winterson, remember him? We've got Cooper with the frontside nose pick shove. It's a stall, but I don't know. It might be the best stall we've seen so far. I kind of like the idea. I like the pop out. Best stall yet. Let's say that. So I think the best you're going to do for a stall is 1.5. And we got Shane Farber again. Back for more. Back to the well. He's one of those guys that just can't leave this fucking thing alone. I like this clip. In the Christie's edit, we get a little moody film B-roll. We get to see some people playing on the other side of the court. I like it when we get to see a little bit extra of the spot. Let's see. Oh, okay, so he goes... Did he mean to do that? I didn't even realize this the first time I watched it because I was worn so thin by doing this. I didn't realize when I set out to do this how arduous of a task it really would be. But he goes kind of the Ben K method of grinding both things at once. So I thought it was back nose grind, but not really. It's like a back over low C, but also grinding the other thing. Also grinding the bar. He's the only one that's done a grind on the bar to this point. I kind of like that. I like the clip, especially since I thought it was a back nose grind initially. It's kind of a subversive maneuver to do on this shit. Good pop out. I don't think it's as groundbreaking as when he did the back 50 on the bar on top. So I'll give him a 2.5. All right, and we've got Gabriel Jr. Gabriel Jr. brings us a little Brasileiro flavor to the spot with an ABD as hell. Back 180 nose grind is one of the first tricks to go down on this shit that we know of. Also, this fucking Times Square ledge. This guy obviously just came to New York, and somebody took him to all of the best known spots, all of the spots you can find on the Quarter Snack spots page probably. Back 180 nose grind, almost killed him on the way out. Certainly no better than Zared's from 10 years before this, so he gets the bomb. All right, we've got Marek Zapratsny. I don't know how you say this guy's name. Finicky Tech Lord to the stars. Let's see what he's got. Nollie inward nose slide. I quite like that. Nollie inward heel nose slide. Perfect buttery back into the bank. It is tough sometimes for me to trust guys with heads this small. See, he's got his Helas cap on and the strap is hanging back. Like, look how cinched this thing is. I'm the kind of guy where if I get a snapback, I need to be able to get at least 2 of the snaps. Otherwise, this shit's not going on my big-ass dome. I don't know how I feel about a guy with a small head like that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Marek, Nollie inward nose slide. Really good. I really like that. But he did come back for more. And I don't know how I feel about this one. Nollie tray, switch 5-0, revert. I think this one's bordering on doing too much for me. And I don't like what they did with the slow-mo. I know what you're doing with that. Should have just left it at the nollie inward nose for me. So Marek nollie inward nose, I quite liked. So you get a 3 for that one easily, strong 3. And then the nollie V flip. Yeah, did I write nollie? I said nollie tray, nollie vari flip, whatever. Switch 5-0 revert. That's doing too much. Points for doing it, but it's doing too much. I think that's 1.5. I gotta dock you for that. All right, shit. If you made it this far, preach. Thanks for sticking with me. This is a slog. But I'm having fun still. I don't know. You guys having fun? I'm having fun. Finally, I've been waiting for this guy to show up. In the second and final 917 video that we ever got, we've got Aaron Lorith at an Aaron Lorith-ass spot doing an Aaron Lorith-ass trick. Yeah, it was only a matter of time. This is New York's West Park right here. R.I.P. by the way. So, pretty standard Aaron Lorith shit right here. Not his best work. I give it a 1.5. All right, Frankie Villani, he's back. Primitive encore video. Chance to redeem himself. Fakey shove to Smith. I like the Lou Reed t-shirt. I hate those shoes. It's better than the Bennett grind, but not by much. I give it a 2. Giovanni Viana. Let's see what a real Brasileiro phenom can bring to the spot. Ooh, half cab heel, front nose. Good swag on it. I liked it. I like this early Giovanni Viana shit. I think this is when he came out, right? Encore, Primitive Encore. This is when we were introduced. The world was shown Giovanni Viana. He's got the shoelace belt. He's hungry. He's young. He's looking like Canelo Alvarez with the fucking shaved red hair. I like those Vans. What are these Vans called? The Paradox? They need to bring these shits back. These were fire. Oh, they give us another angle here. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, really good. That's a 3 all day. And then we got the Brasileiro Phenom to end all Brasileiro Phenoms. We got Thiago Lemos. Very nice. I really like that. Nollie 180, switch front crook, back to switch. So nearly an ABD, you'll recall, nearly redid the trick that Silas Baxter Neal did, probably over a decade before this. But he brought it out to switch. I think improved upon the idea. I think this looks much better as a switch front crook, back to switch, back into the bank. Good steez, did it perfectly. Yellow t-shirt. He gets a 3 for that as well. Primitive brought the Brazilians.
to the spot. They brought the heat, brought a little fogo de chao, if you know what I'm saying. November 2019, we finally get the long-awaited Baker 4, and of course, we got a couple Baker boys in the edit, skating the ledge. We got Figgy and John Dixon. I remember really liking Figgy's part from this video. Nice. Frontside flip. Flip 180 nose grind back to regs, we'll call it. I like that. With the teal wheels, just weird. I like Figgy. Figgy's fried. I met him once at Burnside, no less, and he was on a mushroom come down. And he was really cool to me. And he was a nice dude. Good dude to sit and chat with while Reynolds was trying a frontside flip on the big wall. And I like this trick. And I like Figgy. So, shout out Figgy. All right, John Dixon, what do you got? Oy. Frontside flip to tail, stall, revert. All right, so Figgy probably deserves a 2.5, but I give him a 3 because I like him. He's a nice guy. Dixon, stall, so you can't do better than a 1.5, and it wasn't even a very good stall, so he gets a 1. All right, it's all relevant dudes from out here, so if you're an iPad kid, lock in. We're almost done. Let's smash it out. We've got Tanner Brzezinski. I didn't even remember this. Tanner Brzezinski made it out to New York, and Tanner Brzezinski used to skate Vans, and I think it actually looked pretty good. Pop shove nose slide. And now he did not pop back into the bank. Little stuttery on the nose slide. Certainly not the polished pretend Michael Jordan phone call Tanner Brzezinski that we know and love today. But pretty good. Pretty good, right? Pop shove, nose slide. I like it. I like the idea. Simple trick, smart trick to do. He must have done the same exercise as I did and figured out that nobody had done it up to this point to preserve his legit status of not doing NBDs. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a 2. It's a strong 2. Kawe. Okay, I love Kawe. We've got Kawe Kosa in a little habitat part from a few years back. I like this clip because we get a little view of Ogden Ave in the background. A little bit of flavor here. Let's see what Kawe's got. Really nice. Oh, we get another angle. Sick. I love this. This is so fluid. Wally, front 180, fakie 5-0. Revert back in. It looks like he's just skating a mini ramp. Really sick. I thought this was a great clip. And he goes up. Probably gone up more than anybody else that we've looked at thus far. The striped shirt is taken away a little bit for me, but I still like Kawe, and I have it on good authority that he is just the sweetest boy you'll ever meet. I haven't heard much from him lately, but I know he's out there still killing it, still skating. Not bothering anybody. Nice young man. I wish him nothing but the best, and I really like that trick. That's a 3, but I give him an extra half point for going up, half a star. 3.5. That's one of my favorite tricks on this. Here's something we really need to talk about. Chase Walker's Respectfully. I know you guys love Trung. I know you guys love Zach Anders. I know that these are modern day folk heroes to the hipsters, to many Fusilionaires, I'm sure. But these dudes pulled up to the spot and broke their ass to do 2 fucking ABDs. And not only 2 ABDs, but 2 ABDs worse than the original person that did them. And the original person that did both these tricks, you will recall because we've done this exercise, was Alex Olson. Now, do I think that these guys knew that Alex Olson already did these tricks at this spot? Absolutely, I do. I think this is more of an homage type beat than anything. Maybe they didn't know, but I would imagine that these guys are disciples of Alex Olson, and so I think when I see this, I see a little bit of homage type shit. Obviously this is not in their actual parts of the video. This is kind of the beginning montage bit.
It's kind of fucking around. We're supposed to think that this is a little bit less than, the most important footage in the video. Look at these Lakais. Holy shit, no wonder they're under. These guys know the fucking rules. You can't do ABDs. They both get the bomb. Especially considering, think about the iPad kids. The iPad kids, there's kids who they haven't seen Cherry. These guys could have pulled the wool over the eyes of some of you to think, oh, look, these guys are bringing new shit to the spot. Hell no. Alex Olsen did that shit 10 years ago. So, you can't be doing that. Dick Rizzo, he's back after an almost 10-year hiatus at the spot. And he hits us with something special. This is the first instance we see of somebody actually skating the wall. He goes Wally 5-0 to wall ride to fakie. And I think he does a great job of it. He's opening new terrain at the spot, doing, Dick Rizzo type shit that we're used to seeing. Wallying, wall riding. This is modern Dick Rizzo. He's a man. He's got a beard. He's got his Yankees hat on. I like it. And, bonus points for opening up the new terrain. So Rizzo gets a 3 for that. Eddie Cernicki. I don't know how you say this guy's name, but I'm a fan. This is Eddie out of GX right here for Pablo. 180 fakie 5-0, 270 out. Wally 180 5-0, 180 fakie 5-0, 270 out. Good. It's borderline doing too much, so I'll give it a 2. Strong 2. All right, Shota Kubo, son of the legendary Z-Boy, I believe, 70s pro skater Shogo Kubo. I always like seeing footage of this guy. He's got an interesting style. So he's goofy. So that's fakie Wally to 5-0 back in. Is that right? Yeah, fakie Wally 180 to 5-0 back in. Not my favorite Kubo. I'll give him a 2. And we've got Burl again. Burl's back. Back for more. But at least he does not do an ABD again. That would be a travesty. ABD outfit, maybe. But he hits us with impossible nose slide. Yeah. So Burl is somebody who, in my opinion, abuses impossibles and also does not do them correctly all the time. Like, he does not wrap them super well all the time. This one is wrapped properly. Yeah, actually really quite good wrap on this. I would have liked to see him go actually to switch 5-0 on this. That would have been much cooler. Maybe he was even trying that. I don't know. It was fine. I give him a 2.5 for that one. All right, we've got Etienne in the Vans video by Fletch. Etienne Gagné. Let's see what he's got. Nollie cab back 5-0. Not done as well as Yanni Cruz did it, that's for sure. And long after Yanni Cruz did it, so it's going to be a big markdown for that one, Etienne. I'm sorry. I also expect better from Etienne on this spot. He, of course, gets the lowest score possible, which is the bomb. And we've got Diego Todd. I was waiting for Diego Todd to show up. This is total Diego Todd spot. We got Diego Todd in the key lime shirt. Backtail revert. This is awesome, I think. This is one of the best, if you ask me, one of the best tricks done at the spot. Really nice. Putting his West Park experience to work there. I loved how he landed back in the bank just at the last second. Good travel on the tail slide. Good outfit. That was a great trick. You know, if you show up to a spot that's as blown as this one, you got to fucking come correct. And in my opinion, Diego came correct with that one. I think it's deserving of a 3.5. 3.5 stars. I like Diego. Also repping for glasses skaters. I think he's the only glasses skater we've seen on the entire list. All right, you guys, 2 more projects. We've got 2 more pieces to work through here. We've got the Nike SB Philavester promo edit. And we've got a guest trick from Hugo. Let's see what Hugo's got. Kickflip front 5. Kickflip front 5-0 to be exact. Really nice. Nice and loose. Kind of surprised it hadn't already been done by this point because this is a pretty recent piece. But Hugo's the kind of guy, knows his history, knows his shit, knows not to do some ABD shit at a blown out spot like this. Unlike Philavester, who that's not ABD, but this is. We just saw Shota Kubo do the same trick, and I would argue he did it better. But yeah, you know, Villa had to just butt in, get a couple tricks on this spot. I think it's amazing. They put the Phila clips after the Hugo clip, and Hugo completely showed him up, like 1,000%. I know they're buddies or whatever from growing up in Copenhagen or whatever, but yeah, I mean, Phila's a bit of a bullshit artist when he does tricks like this. I do like some of Phila's skating, but you know, this kind of shit, it's just gimmicky to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's ABD. This shit was good though. Remember this? Everybody saw that. Everybody remembers that. So, you know, like I said. So Hugo gets 2.5. Phila gets a 1 and a bomb. All right, almost done. We've got Noah Mayhew, and he hits us with switch 180 to nose grind pop in, which I like. You know, at this stage, at this late stage of this spot, it's so hard to find anything that's not been done. So to be able to think of something that hasn't been done yet is impressive. And I like that he went switch Wally, front side to regular nose grind, pop in, landed in the bank just. I thought that was good. I like this. I like Noah Mayhew. I like his skating. That's a strong 2.5. Same video, we've got Eddie Cernicki, and he hits us with impossible front crook fakie. When I saw this kind of blew my mind. Such a good trick for the spot. And Eddie also, one of those people, kind of like Rowan, kind of like Aiden Mackey, who has good impossibles, always does them properly, but barely ever does them, definitely does not milk them. I like this much better than the other tricks that he's done here. This is so good, this. This might be my favorite trick at the spot. I wanted to say no, I wanted to give it to Vincent Tuzeri, and I still might. Or maybe I'll let him have it. Let them both have it. Maybe I'll take them both. Really good use of the spot. Well filmed also. Good outfit. Venture trucks. Shout out all my Venture truck riders. Yeah, this really, this trick alone, I mean, I was already a fan of Eddie Cernicki, but this trick sort of said, okay, Eddie. Really cool. Really good trick. This is the closest I am to giving one of these a 4. 4 out of 4 stars. Fuck it, I think I give it to him. But if he gets the 4, I gotta give Vincent the 4 as well, because Vincent's trick was equally outstanding, I thought. I'll take them both. And as far as this list is concerned, Eddie's got the last laugh. He did one more trick in the Carhartt video. He went for the front side roll-in. Kind of craze. Now, you'll remember, if you've been with us long enough to see this, that Lizard King went for a backside ollie in. And Eddie goes for the front side roll-in. So he didn't break ground on skating it from the top. But what do you guys think? Do you think a backside ollie in or a frontside roll in is crazier? I think they're kind of equally crazy. I can't really say that one is crazier than the other. Rolling in is absurd on this. At least they didn't like sauce it up with 5 extra seconds of B-roll of him tripping out up along the top of the wall like they did with Lizard King. But that was probably 8 years before this, so you got to cut him some slack for that. Pretty cool. Definitely did it the same day as that impossible front crook. I wonder which one he did first. I gave Lizard King a 3.5 for the ollie in, so I think Eddie gets a 3 for the roll in, just because he didn't break ground. Lizard King broke ground, and Lizard King needs something, out of this list. He needs a little something for the effort. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, holy hell, you guys, what a journey we've been on. I hope if you've made it this far that you learned something. I guarantee you saw something you hadn't seen before. Shout out to all the skaters. Shout out to all the filmers. And now we ask ourselves, what have we learned? What's left? Not much at this point. Just like Jerry said at the top, the man that built the spot said, oh, geez, this shit got blown out pretty quick. But they filmed that in 2014, and, it's been over 10 years since that, and we're still seeing new shit on the spot. So, not all the juice has been squeezed yet. But if you're going to go there, you better have an idea. You better have a good head on your shoulders. This is what can happen. When there's a spot in a busy city, it's not a bust. It's easy enough to get to. This shit's going to get blown out. And that's what happened. So, anyway, that's it. I just kind of, I've always been sort of mystified by this spot, wanted to check it out, wanted to do a deep dive, and I wanted to bring along you, the homies, the viewers, the Fusilionaires. So if you stuck with me this long, shout out to you. I love you. We'll see you on the next one. And